Hey, welcome back. Today I'm just going to do some potting. I got some new pots, which I am so excited for. They're huge, they're wide top. You know, I like when they're wide top like this because it's easy to, keep the root bulb intact when you need to come in with, your trowel, and you can just scoop it out nice and easy. Whereas pots like these, where the top is quite smaller, it's kind of done in that bottleneck hook shape style, it's not the best. So again, the wider the top, the easier to transplant, your trees, saplings, whatever, when you're ready. So I just got in some new stock I'm excited about. I gotta put them, these are blackberries and raspberries. So I'm gonna put those actually just in the ground. But over here are supposed to be cinnamon, teak, tea tree, mulberry, some other trees I can't remember, but as you can see, they're quite tiny. This is actually cadmium. But just because they're quite tiny, I'm gonna, pot them up and give them a little nursing. And maybe the next rainy season, they'll be strong enough to go in the ground. So yeah, today I'm gonna pot up some tree saplings. All right, watch me work. So before we get started, I just want to show what I'm using. I found this in a crop. Sold it to me for about 300 CDs. 3, maybe 4. I don't quite remember, but I knew I wanted a good potting soil because I was going to start my pot collection all over again, and that's what I could find. So I'm going to add that to the pots. But before I do that, I'm going to take a scoop of wood chips. Now, I always put wood chips on the bottom of my pots because it allows for great drainage. And actually now I'm realizing that some of these pots have no drainage holes. Oh my god. I gotta put my own. Alright, well bear with me while I put my own drainage holes. Because last time I did that, I broke the pot, so I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Wish me luck. They're lovely pots, but unfortunately, there were no holes in the bottom. Having holes in the bottom of your pot is important, especially if you're doing container gardening outdoors, where the rains are going to come and you have no control of how much water each pot actually contains or gets. So having those holes where they can slip out passively will be the best. If not, there's a good chance if it's a heavy rain, the pot will become waterlogged, and that means you're going to have to deal with root rot. Root rot will not be good for your plants, will not be good for you. So take the time and put in some holes. So I'm just going to tilt it down and bring it over. And we're going to put some holes in this pot. That is a thick bottom. One. So unfortunately, I got a big old hole now. My bad. Whatever. It's still good. It still works. It's still my baby. Whew. So, you know, you try to make holes and you end up with rectangles, and that's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna fill this to the bottom with wood chips, so I don't really have to worry about the soil falling out, and it'll be fine. I set up holes, I got rectangles. Wood chips! You can get them free from your local lumber yard. They actually pay companies to come and take their wood chip trash away. They'll be so grateful if you come and take it for free. And if you actually find somebody that, you know, actually does, you know, forestry lumbering for a profession, there's a good chance they will just bring the truck to your house and dump it on your farm, which again, I am a heavy advocate for. Free. So the wood chips, I'm applying maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of the container. What I love about wood chips is it's great for drainage. It lets all the excess water leave, but it's also great for storing excess water. So if there's a time where the pot doesn't get watered, the roots can actually pull water out of the wood chips and bring it back up. So it's just great all around. Yay, wood chips. I find even too, if you were to soak your wood chips before you put them in, you know, that would be even ideal. I did not do that. So do as I say, not as I do. But either way, it'll work out. It's all good. So, yeah. I'm gonna leave some wood chips because I do need some mulch. But I can show you what I got going on so far. Yeah. Sure, tell me while you're seeing that. But that's what we got going on so far. So now I am going to fill this. Now I'm just going to fill this up with some good soil. The soil I'm using I got in a crop. See if you can see it. What I'm using, it's by Westland. Sorry. It's from Westland. It's Grow Shore All-Purpose Compost. So it's basically 4 months of feed for more flowers, fruits and vegetables. Superior moisture control. I have to attest that this is really good in terms of moisture control, because just even like peeling it out of the bag, granted it was in the rain season for like ever, but peeling it out of the bag, sorry, technical difficulties, bear with me. Alright, so we're back. So I'm just gonna fill this with this. Oh, it's so freaking heavy. Can we just take a moment to see how beautiful this is? Like, oh my god. It's black, it's rich, it's spongy, like it's so soft. Like, I actually have to get in here with my hands. Oh, yeah, bitty. So what I love about getting these types of soils is that there's so much organic matter. It's so just, oh, it's sterile, mind you, so there's no like life, but it's definitely conducive for life. And so once you add your microposi, okay, so here is my bay leaf tree sapling. I got it in a crop. It was 100 CDs for this sapling, and so I'm gonna attempt to remove it with the root ball intact. And also to help it root, I've also
years ago I started learning about food forests and his big vision to transform
This, I love using this to help things root. Mycorrhizae is a very beneficial microorganism that lives in the soil. So make sure my root bulb is intact. Oh, the soil's alive. It's got rid all the bugs. All the bugs.
Now fast forward almost 3 years and
sprinkle this directly on the roots. You can't just like throw it in your soil and hope for the best. No, it has to have root contact or it won't work. Oh, I almost broke my root bulb. And I am putting it on the root bulb. And then, you know, just put it in the soil.
This is something that I've been really excited about for at least the last year.
I'm actually going to get some more.
These tree lines have temperate fruit trees. We have some established plants here, mulberry.
This to show you how much I like mycorrhizae. I was able to order it online on YouBuy, and yeah, I just got all of it. As much as they would ship in one order, I like maxed them. I think they gave me a limit of like 20 or something. It's all good. Haters. So unfortunately, I will not be sharing. Come and ask. Get your own.
Of course, the support trees that are going to be used for Ramula wood chips, willow and poplar, specific varieties. We've got the Japanese fodder willow and Kawa poplar.
Oh yeah, this one's already open.
But until yesterday, every grass and
sprinkling.
brush cutter was harvesting the grass and mulch.
So this root ball actually just fell apart on me. Unfortunately.
But what's going to happen in the center now is, at the moment, it's cover crop. Will eventually transition into annual vegetables, perennial vegetables, biomass. Options are really exciting to see new use of the space with valley crops in between our temperate tree lines.
I'm just gonna.
We've also got
Here's the roots.
similar system here, which already has
the root ball fell apart, unfortunately, but never to fear. I'm just gonna give it all the mycorrhizae and little heart desires. You see, I am just sprinkling it. Making sure all the roots are basically covered in white powder.
This is a new area.
And the roots will let me pour it.
So 8 to 9 months ago, Mexican sunflower has had 3 individual
I'm going to backfill.
In that first year, not
and get it all covered.
At this stage, shade log that had moved out from the tree line.
Push down just to make sure the root system is actually, you know, touching. Get my shovel out. You don't want to plant the shovel. Yeah. It's in there. So now that I have space on the top, I'm just going to mulch it. Before I mulch, I actually want to water. It's always good to have access to water when you're doing any type of farming and gardening. So, yeah, access to water. Now the soil is pretty wet. I left it out in the rain all rain season. Like I got this months ago, so I don't need a lot. Just making sure I put some directly around the roots. That will also wake up the microorganisms in the powder, mycorrhizae. So that's good. Now, wood chips. That wood chip knife. Yeah, I'm making a mess. Like, usually you try to like do things like this without making a mess. You're gonna have a major cleanup after. I'm not doing that at all. I'm making all of this. I guess I haven't done this all season. This is like my first set of new trees.
They spread to other plants around it. So
yeah. So as you can see, I made sure that there's about an inch between the level of the mulch and the top. That's simply for watering purposes. Sometimes if you have it, you know, right up to the rim or bulging over the rim, when you water, everything's going to run out of the pot. And that's never a good thing. That's just wasteful. So, you know, so a lot of people will say just around the plant itself, leave the soil bare, because as the mulch starts to decompose, it's going to invite, you know, certain pests that aren't actually good for the plant itself. So you won't want this to get like powdery mildew or anything like that, in case, you know, it starts to degrade what you're actually trying to grow. So you want the mulch to decompose, but you don't want the plant to decompose. So it's said to just give it a little breathing room around the soil. Actually, I'm going to use this opportunity to spray it down as well, since it is a plant that came from a nursery, and I'm not really sure what's going on at that nursery, but because I don't want it to affect my plants, I'm going to spray it. So I just have like a little neem oil and black soap and water, and so I'm just spraying the leaves, kind of giving it a cleaning, making sure I get the bottom of the leaves as well. If you don't get the bottom, you may not actually be addressing the problem. So that's the video. We've planted it, we've sprayed it, we've mulched it, we've given it space, we've used the black soil, we made drainage holes, and we added wood chips. So I will you all a very, very productive day, and I'll be back with some more watch me work.